Hello guys and welcome to my Workforce blog. So today's topic is the dreaded camel hump. Cue the graphics, right? We've all experienced this in the past or working at a call center as a workforce analyst. It's a very tough situation for both an analyst and a business to be able to meet the demands of their customers while keeping their agents happy, right? The camel hump is basically the call arrivals are very heavy in the morning, light in the afternoon or mid-afternoon, and very heavy in the evening. And this all revolves around the way corporate environments are scheduled. A lot of people, or the baby boomers and even some of the Generation Xers, they're used to having that 9 to 5, 8 to 4, 7 to 3, Monday to Friday, and that's kind of what they prefer. So you tend to find that people with seniority or people who you have lives and responsibilities, kids, they always prefer those morning shifts. So they're highly desired and sought after. But they also do cause big staffing overlap, right? So while you make sure you want to meet your customer demands in the evening, you schedule agents at 12, 1, 2, 3 o'clock, whatever your hours are, to meet the demand at night, and then you just create this huge overlap. So it looks something like this. You create this huge overlap where you're going to have a lot of extra FTEs or extra bodies sitting there pretty much in idle, doing nothing in the mid-afternoon. And you're going to struggle to figure out what to do with them, right? How to save money, optimize the operation without actually losing too many people, so that if customers do call in, you're not making them wait, right? Or causing a bad customer service experience. So I have a few points here. I have them on the screen here, so bear with me, that I'm going to discuss just briefly, but then they'll go into really full detail in the rest of the article. So if you want more info, you can just read the rest of it and really get an idea of some of the things I've done or have experienced to really make a call center efficient and make it profitable. So first are split shifts. Split shifts are great. Basically agent works the first part of the morning where all your arrivals come in, and then goes home and then comes back in the evening. They're great. However, they're very unpopular. In my personal opinion, a lot of people suggest them, a lot of people like them, but the reality is the uptake's really low. So meaning that, the agents just, some of them pick it, some of them really don't like it, but you're gonna find that not very many people like them, so very low uptake. Great idea, but not very effective if that's the only solution you have. Then there's voluntary early leave or, unpaid leave, where agents just, they're let go early to save a couple bucks. That's great. But it's very hard to manage. It's hard to manage if you don't have the right forecast in place, the right intraday planning, the right systems in place. If you let people go too early and you let too many people go, you might end up with a problem where you're not able to meet the service level demand later in the day if you let 20 people go when you should have only let 10 people go. So that's where the next key thing comes in, workforce optimization software. Or WFO suites. There's so many out there. I'm not going to quote names because I want to keep this as PG as possible, you can say. I don't want to quote names, but I'll say that there's a lot of great solutions out there. Some of the WFM systems that are already deployed at call centers, they actually have components that you can purchase, WFO suites, they're optimization suites that can actually do an amazing job at offering split shifts, offering early leave, offering dynamic training pushes. So like your agents, when they're not busy during that afternoon hump, they can get training pushed to them. They have apps, apps where basically the agent can go and say, I want to leave early. At a click of a button, they're out. You can set up rules and regulations within the software to make sure that if they get approved, that they're not leaving when the system will predict that calls will come. So the system is going to tabulate all that for you, and it's going to say, yeah, we can let 5 people go at this time, and when the agent applies, they'll get an auto approval, or you can use your intraday analysts or your real-time analysts to gauge that for you. So you can have it manually approved where they won't get the authorization to go. They can apply for it, but won't get the authorization until someone actually lets go that request and says, okay, you're good to leave based on what the service levels are, based on active queue monitoring. So they'll monitor the queues and say, yeah, they're good to go. Now, all that is amazing, it's efficient, but it's expensive. It costs money, right? To purchase a WFO suite, to buy all the licenses necessary, depending on the size of your call center, how many agents you have. It's not cheap, but it's a really, really effective solution, and it will pay back big time over time. Return on investment on a WFO suite is amazing. However, sometimes if you don't have the budget for it, They're all alternative solutions. Towards the end of this blog, I'm going to kind of give you a rough idea how to do it manually. If you don't have the money or budget to buy a WFM suite, or sorry, not WFM suite, but a WFO option or WFO suite that can do this optimization for you, then I'll suggest a very easy alternative to it, to be able to actually do intraday management with Excel without spending the money on a WFO suite. So that'll be towards the end. I'm not going to go too much into detail on that, but I will give you some examples on what you need and the kind of data you need to actually get it done and to make sure it's accurate and effective, right? So the next point would be alternative platforms like social media and web chat. This one's great. This one, not a lot of people are thinking about these days because they still think social media and chat is one of those things that, not many people use it. They're dead wrong, because the landscape's changing. A lot of your clients are millennials now. They got the disposable cash. They have the money to spend on your products and services. So you got to start thinking about how to cater to them. Now, the millennials and even the Generation Xers, they have their phones, their iPhones, their Androids. They become really used to using them, and their time's valuable, right? Because they'd rather be out chasing Pokemons and doing millennial stuff, right? Browsing social media, and not really have to wait wait to call into a call center, or wait on hold, or even wait 5 or 10 minutes, whatever it may be, to call in to deal with something. They would just rather go on Facebook. They would rather go on Twitter. They'd rather go on Instagram and just send you a message and say, hey, you know what? This is an issue with my account. Can you please take care of it? The great thing about social media, for example, you don't have to actually answer your customers live right there and then. You can actually do a transactional thing, right? Where basically it's called TAR, or time to average response, where the person posts on a public or private forum, or they post something on your social media pages, says, hey, I got a problem with my account, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Then you basically, you can take them to a private chat within Facebook, within Instagram, within Twitter, and deal with their concern. But it's not the split second ASA that you need to answer their call. Like, you need to answer their call immediately, like a voice call. You can actually wait. There's different social media platforms out there, but your time to average responses could be anywhere from 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. People who send you a message over social media, whether it be Facebook or Twitter, more than likely are willing to wait because they're doing stuff, they're out with their friends, they send you a message through your social media channel, and they know they're going to get a response and they're going to get a solution to their problem without having to wait online. So that honestly is one of the most effective things, and I think it's going to change the landscape quite a bit. And I think that you guys should think about investing into it, right? Because a good social media platform is going to keep you ahead of the curve, really. If you don't start thinking about this now, and catering to your new generation of customers, which are the millennials that are very used to social media and are very happy dealing with organizations over social media, it is a good way to deal with the camel hump, because there is no camel hump with social media. You can just answer the customers' inquiries at a much slower pace, but still be effective at answering their queries and dealing with their problems. But more importantly, from what my perspective or my experience, I've been dealing with social media for a few years now. The arrival patterns for social media are really heavy in the evening. So it's really great because you can staff towards that very easily. If that's when you people get home and they're on Facebook, they're on Twitter, they've done their jobs, they're at home just watching their favorite show, and they just want to send you a message, and then they're cool. They'll wait 20-30 minutes for you to respond and say, yep, it's all taken care of. So social media is a great alternative. Web chat ties into that too. Web chat's a great alternative as well to reduce your cost per call, because it allows you to do multi-session. But the big thing about chat before you go to that kind of platform is to make sure your actual systems behind the scenes can actually support multi-sessions. So make sure your systems can actually do more than one transaction at the same time and can have more than one client record open. So I can have 3 clients open at the same time, and I can process 3 transactions at the same time. If you don't have that kind of system capability, don't even bother with a chat platform, because if you can't accomplish what they call concurrency, which is having multiple accounts up, you're talking to multiple people, being able to do multiple transactions and answer multiple queries and access customer databases simultaneously, your chat platform will not work. It'll be a big waste of money. So that's super important. But like I said, great alternatives. Social media and chat, worth the investment. The software is nowhere near as expensive. It doesn't require ACD. Things like chat and social media have transcripts, which are incredible. Transcripts take absolutely no data, or they're a very small amount of kilobytes of data per transcript. So storage, you want to store your customers' transactions and what they spoke to you about for your own purposes, legal purposes, for transactional purposes, for customer documentation purposes. 1,000 or let's say even 1,000,000 chat transcripts will not take up nowhere near as amount of space as 1,000 or 1,000,000 voice calls, right? So think about all that data that the voice stuff is needing storage wise, and that's a huge expensive money, right? It's data storage that's going to cost you money to lease monthly, yearly, and chat. Social media and chat require a very amount of small data to store those records. So that's huge, right? Think about that down the line. You're going to be able to store all your customer interactions on a USB stick, to be quite honest, versus having a huge RAID server or have a big server costing thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars to buy and to maintain. Start thinking about it. To be honest, it's a very great and effective platform, both social media and chat. There's few pieces of software out there that are great. I'm not going to get into specifics, like I said, about any particular company or even my own company that I'm working for or any previous companies. I just want to keep things as PG as possible, right? So next, or the last point would be is working from home. So work from home agents. This one is great. Very, very expensive to do, but we're going into a new landscape with data bandwidth. 5G is coming out soon. We already have great bandwidth as we speak, but agents tend to have their own internet already, and you're going to save a ton of money on retail space, right? So work from home agents are a great option because they're good jump-ons, right? So what I mean by jump-ons are during your peak times, or when your agent has already left for the day and you need to staff to meet a demand of a last-minute product, or something's really blown up, or you have issues where customers are calling in about some news media thing that's happening about your company, or you're just really stuck in hot water and you don't know what to do. If you have work at home agents, it's as simple as sending them a message, give them a call, send them an email, or there's ways to get in touch with them and give them the opportunity, hey, you don't want to jump on for 2 hours, here's some overtime. And not only will you meet your customer demands and make sure you secure transactions, sales, answer their concerns and keep them happy, your customers happy, right? Because the more happy they are, the longer they're going to stay with you, right? But more importantly, you're going to save money on real estate. The agents get a little bit extra money without actually having to drive an hour or 2 hours to get to your location just to log in to do 2 hours of overtime, right? So it's like they're almost working for free because they're driving to get there, and they do OT for an hour or two, and it's really inefficient for them, and it's also inefficient for you. And having them work from home and having a good chunk of your agents available to work from home is phenomenal. So if you guys can invest into that, and you guys can think about a way you can accomplish it or budget for it, or look at the technologies out there to do it, work with your IT departments, set up a secure way to deal with customers from agents' home. It's a game changer, guys. So I really enjoyed this one. I can definitely talk a lot. I think that's my personality, but I think that I have a lot of great stuff to say. So I look forward to doing another post soon. But more importantly, I will do all the details on this in the article below, or if you go to my blog, there'll be detail on everything I spoke about. If you don't recall it, or if you want a little bit more detail on it, it will be there. So I really thank you very much, guys, for joining my blog and just reading up on it. And I really like sharing the information. And more importantly, if you have any questions, reach out to me. I can't comment on specifics about my current employer, previous employers, or anything. I just want to be able to give you general information and give you some good ideas on how you can improve efficiency in your call center. Okay, guys? Thank you very much. And again, my name is Marlon Martinez, and we'll talk to you on the next one.